Hey guys, it's Dave here from Diddy Drums. Welcome to this lesson. Today's lesson we're going to be learning the song Ride by, is it 21 Pilots? Yeah, so 21 Pilots. And hey, I'm going to tell you there's about probably a dozen parts in the song we're going to break it down through, okay? So about 12 parts, and we are seriously just going to go through all the parts that we know in the song, which is hopefully all of them. And are you ready for today's lesson? Are you ready? All right, so excellent. So hopefully you got your drumsticks out, and what we're going to do here is going to play the hi-hats playing 16th notes like this. So you're playing 16 notes, meaning you're going 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R, like that. So counting it, 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R. All with your right hand as well, like this. 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R. 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R. Once you got that happening, then you can join me on the main beat of the song. Now the main beat's kind of cool because, there's only like one snare drum that lands on the count 2. And the rest is all these bass drums, and it just sounds really cool, right? You know from the song. So here's the main beat. Here's how it sounds. Well, let's try the main beat with the metronome at about 75 BPM. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, let's try a little slower at about 60 BPM. 2, 3, 4. And there you go. If you have any challenges with the beat, just slow it down like I did. I went down to 60 BPM, and then I'll bump it back up to 75 BPM. So you're basically using the metronome to help you wherever you need to work at. If you need to slow it down, slow the metronome down. Once you got it back up, speed it right back up. The metronome is your friend, guys, not your enemy. All right. Then the next part we're going to look at is the fill that happens at the end of the intro, right? So here is how it sounds. This is about 60 BPM. 3, 4. You could slow it down even more, like three, 4. And then bring it back up to the tempo. All right, the next part we look at is the part where you just have the snare drum, like doing the 2 and the 4. So really easy, that part there, obviously. I'm not even sure why I'm giving talk about that here, but it is a part in the song that happens quite a lot, so we'll go through it at about 75 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all that part is. All right, we're going to look at a variation of the first fill we looked at. So this is like fill number 2 that happens in the song. And it's very similar to the first fill, except there's this extra bass drum that happens in that fill. Here's how it sounds. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Let's slow that down to about 50 beats per minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4. That's the fill that happens around the end of the first chorus. So let's have a look at the pause. In the start of the second verse, there's this pause that happens, and then you kind of come in with the beat. So we're going to have a look at that section, and that part there is like 3 beats of rests. So counting 1, 2, 3, and then on the count 4 is when you come back in like this. 1, 2, 3, like that. And if you look at there should actually be some music for this in the description section. Just click on that, and you'll be able to actually download the sheet music, which I've written out for you. So you check it out there, you'll see that part written out. It's really good to have, when you're practicing, to have the sheet music right in front of you, so you can always refer to that. All right, and you'll even see I've put the counting with that too, so you can count all the parts through. Now let's look at the beat that happens in the second verse. So here's how the beat sounds. So you can hear that the difference with this beat is that the snare drum is now on the 2 and the 4 as opposed to the first main beat. This is a little bit different because the snare is landing on the 2 and the 4. Okay, so we do that beat for a while, and then you go to the next beat, the beat number 3, which it's a bit of a strange beat. Now, I believe this beat has a snare drum on the count 1. It sounds like, so we're going to add that in there, and it sounds like this. Now that one is definitely a little bit tricky, so I think we should slow it down a little bit, maybe around 55 BPM. Just check out how it sounds there. 3 and 4 and. Probably start with the hi-hat so you can get the rhythm right there. Count out all the 16 notes. 1 E and up, 1 E and up. So the E has the 30-second notes, and the up has the 30-second notes. 1 E and up. And then add that with the beat. And I believe that the beat has snare on the 1. If you think it doesn't, let me know in the comments section below. If you think it does, give us a thumbs up. But I think it does, just because you can hear something else happening on that 1 there. All right, next let's have a look at the fill. So this is fill number 3. Here's how it sounds. So probably the trickiest fill in the song, just because there's a fair bit going on. But let's try slowing it down to about 55 BPM. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and. So, I could even slow it down a little bit more. And, to be honest, when I'm practicing, I would slow things like this down to say even like 40 beats per minute if I had to. In fact, let's just do that for an example right here, about 40 BPM. 3, 4. And you can definitely hear at that tempo, it's a little bit tricky to get, but definitely a good idea to practice these things at different tempos, because you might find that one tempo is really easy for you, but any slower or any faster, it starts to get a little bit tricky. So try all these different tempos, and that will help you get better control of the parts in this song. All right, the next part we're going to look at is the breakdown of the song, and the breakdown goes to like 8 bars. The first 4 bars is pretty chilled out, and the next 4 bars starts to really pick up the tempo. So let's go through the first 4 bars of the breakdown, and here's how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, 2, 3, 4. So there's a little rough there that happens. A little like where your left hand's playing the 4 and da, and you're trying to get a bit of a buzz sound. So let's have a look at just that bar, the first bar of the breakdown. Here's how it sounds. Like that. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. In fact, it's a good idea to sometimes just loop 1 bar at a time. That way you get really good control of it, like this. Gotta love the drums in this song. If you love the drums in this song, give us a thumbs up. And in the meantime, let's go to the second part of the breakdown. So the next 4 bars. Definitely a little bit tricky, those 4 bars. So just because where the 30-second notes are going to land and where the hi-hat opens can be a little bit tricky. So probably the basic thing to play there would just be going. But if you want to get really specific, then try and play along with me at this part here. We're going to try and add the 30-second notes and the open hi-hat too. This will be about 55 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice little fill there that happens, So the count 1 and 2 is a rest, so there's nothing happening on the 1 and 2, and then you're going 3, 4, E, and like that. Now I'm using the first tom and the floor tom there, and also, every time you play the snare, it's going to be like a flam. So 3, 4, E, and right? Trying to always play the snare as a flam. And the last part is the outro, like just 4 bars. It's a bit like, in fact, it's a lot like the 4 bars we did in the breakdown, the first 4 bars of the breakdown. Very similar. Guys, I want you to make sure you hit the link for the music below, and go so we can actually download the music for this, because that's going to be very helpful to have in front of you when you're practicing, all right? So definitely download the music for that. And let's get into this part of the song. That's all it is. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and work on those little, parts where you can, get a few strokes happening very softly. If you find them a little bit tricky, then just try playing them as a ghost note. Ghost note is basically where you're playing the notes very softly on the snare drum, like that. And keep in mind, a ghost note you'll always tell because it'll be on the snare and it'll have some brackets around it. Any of those notes are the notes that you generally play a little bit softer than the other notes. Alrighty guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you got some real value from it. Hopefully you're practicing along with some of the parts, and as I said, definitely download the sheet music because it'll come like this. You'll have 1, 2, 3 song sheets, all the beats I've printed out for you, and also you'll see there's the music, the counting. The counting is with the beats as well, guys. So definitely practice it. Hope you got some value, and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hit the comments section for any requests you might have as far as lessons go. If there's anything you want to learn, as far as songs or things on the drums you want to learn. And yeah, hit subscribe button as well because I'll be making lots more lessons just like this, guys. So thanks very much for watching. See you all in the next video.